Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're watching. My name's Joe, and over the next couple of hours, we are going to be bringing you a fabulous craft along. And the great thing about a craft along is that it's a great chance for us all to craft together in real time. And today's collection, it is gorgeous. It is, of course, our vintage diary that we're going to be focusing on. Now, we need a fabulous expert to lead us through the next couple of hours, and thankfully we found just the person when it comes to vintage diary. Debbie is here with us. How are you going, Debbie?
I'm fine, thank you. I like looking for that fabulous, where is she? Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait for this one. I adore this collection with a passion. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm going to take you, well, would you like to see what you're going to be making this afternoon?
I'd love to.
So, obviously we've got this lovely little envelope box there, so we may be doing a box later on, if we get the time. But we're making a little bit of a fancy fold card here, which is what we call, it's an accordion card, or you may have heard this described as a fan card as well. So this is the card we're going to be making. It's got a little pocket on the front there as well, where you can slip your little notelet paper. And not only there, but when we go inside, Joe, where we lift it up, we're not forgetting the inside this time.
Oh,
so we've got this beautiful paper, and then when I just pull this back, it reveals that lovely little verse on there as well. So we're going to be using the embossing folders. We're going to be using parts of the collection that you probably have already got delivered there, but we're going to be making this beautiful accordion card, this lovely fan card, so that you can see every little bit of detail has been used to the maximum. So I hope you're all ready. I hope you've got your pens and your papers and everything else that you need, because I'm going to let Joel tell you everything that you do need for this craft along.
Yes, absolutely. It isn't too late to get your bits and bobs together and join us. I'm going to share with you all the stuff that Debbie's going to be using over the next couple of hours, and here it is. So you're going to need your die cutting machine, the Gemini, the Junior or the Midi. You will need the vintage diary collection, a score master, a guillotine, some glues there for you as well, and a tape pen. We also are going to require some Harmony Water reactive ink pads. For this specific one, Debbie's going to be using this Jet Black and the Fryer Brown. You're going to need your envelope box creator as well, and a few additional bits and bobs. You're going to need some matte gold cardstock, the 12x12 paper pad, and then also some metal dies there as well, which is the Key to My Heart, the feathered quill, and also the diary tags and banners. A few of the elements that Debbie will be using are not available at the moment, but that doesn't mean that you can't substitute some of those elements as you go along. Similarly, if you are at home at the moment thinking, oh, I don't have that collection, I really would have loved that craft along, it doesn't matter, because we have got an opportunity for you to get your hands on some of the awesome Sarah Signature Vintage Diary collection as well. 64 elements in here and 2 paper packs for you too. Let me take you through the offer that we have available for you in this show, and it really is a gorgeous collection of stuff. So in this particular collection, you're going to get 2 embossing folders. This one here is your Dear Diary. You're also going to receive the A Moment in Time, which is gorgeous. You've got your page edge dies. These give you that wonderful like diary edge or sort of distressed edge there. We've also got stamps and dies. This pocket watch one, this is great for steampunk sort of themes too. You've got your stamps in here. You're going to get the adorning sentiments, and you'll get the exquisite embellishments. And last but by no means least, you will get the antique frame stamp and die. We've also got some glorious papers in here for you as well. So you're going to get firstly the vellum pack, which is just stunning. It really is an awesome collection of amazing quality vellums that you've got in here, with a real, it's floral, but it's also very elegant. It's quite distressed. It's a little bit shabby chic for you too. It's a really, really lovely collection. So you've got your vellums in here. You're also going to get some beautiful pearlescent cardstock in here too, and it really is shining. It is so gorgeous. Lovely lavender, that gorgeous chocolate brown, and that beautiful cream all coming in there for you as well. So you've got that, but then also, who doesn't love a freebie? Now, if you're like me, then you would love a freebie. And in this particular configuration, you are getting more freebies than you can shake a pokey tool at. So what you're going to receive is you're going to get the traditional jute twine. You're also getting some MDF elements. So you've got the wooden frame and corner. You've got the lovely ribbons in here. There is also the fantastic wax seal kit in here. This one isn't a freebie. I don't know why I've put that in that pile. You're going to get the metal charms, which are gorgeous, and you're also going to get the rub-on transfers as well. These are fantastic, and you'll see all of this in use as we go through this craft along. It's £103.90 in the UK, £139.50 if you're in the US. Platinum members save almost £50 and almost $95, which is absolutely incredible value for money as well. Right now, it's not just myself and Debbie in this show. Oh no, we have got two fabulous Skype crafters joining us as well. And we're going to start off by saying Ohio to Jenny. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited that you're here with us as well. I trust you've got all your bits and bobs gathered and ready to start crafting.
I've got them all ready to go.
Awesome. Right, not only are you going to be crafting together, we'll be getting to know you as well as we go through the show. Now, you're in Ohio, is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome. Whereabouts are you?
I am Northwest Ohio, so I'm just south of Toledo. So
Awesome. Well, it looks...
Most people know where Toledo is.
It looks very sunny, can I say, Jenny?
It is. It is. It's a bright blue sky today.
Oh, glad to hear it. Right, I'll be dropping back in on you periodically as we go through the show. Not only do we have Jenny with us, we also have the lovely April joining us as well. April, how are you?
Hi, I'm good today. How are you?
Really good, thank you. Where are you joining us from?
Northern Indiana.
Ah, fantastic. And is it nice and sunny where you are today?
It is. It is.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad the sun's out. It's out here in the studio as well. I trust you've got all your bits and bobs gathered, ready to craft along with the lovely Debbie.
Yes, we're all ready.
Ah, fantastic. Good to hear it. April's also tickety-boo and ready to go. I'll drop back in on you periodically then, April, in that case, as we go through the show. What I would say is, should we have a little look who's joining us today? Who we got here then? We've got Pamela, we've also got Rhonda, Georgianne, Jill, Sam, Adams, Rose, loads of you saying hello. Victoria says, oh no, Joe had the haircut. Ah. I feel cleansed, Victoria, is all I will say. What I would also say is through the craft along, if there's anything you need to know, anything you need recapping, then let me know. I'm here for you, and you can get in touch with me on Crafters TV over on Facebook, or of course, you can drop in on YouTube, Crafters Companion. Make sure you subscribe there as well, but I'll be able to get any of your questions or anything you need recapping over to Debbie. I would also say that we will take regular breaks as we go through. It will give you an opportunity to get yourself caught back up if you do fall behind, so don't worry, we will take those regular breaks. Having a look here, it would appear that everyone though is pretty much good to go if you are, Debbie.
Oh, fabulous. I can get going and get creative. So what we're going to start with first is we're going to start with the base of the card. Now you need to choose, so you should have your paper pack in front of you, which is your luxury mixed card pack, where you've got these beautiful tones in here, and you just need to choose yourself a colour that you want your base card to be. So with that said, I've had cream with this one, but I thought I might change it up and go with this gorgeous chocolate colour.
Nice.
It's just divine, Joe. It's just divine. So first things first, I just want you to take one sheet out for the time being. I want you to get hold of your guillotines, because this is a really good cardstock weight, Joe, that it means that you can use this as a base. This is, and if I remember rightly, it's a 250 GSM, so it's perfect for those card bases, and obviously makes the most beautiful background base to your card. So you could choose cream, you could choose the lilac, or you could choose this gorgeous chocolate brown one. What we're going to do though first is read the base of the card. Now the idea of this card is this is a 6x6 base card, and I've done it on the fold tent there. If you want to do it the open way, the normal way, that's entirely up to you. It won't affect the card. It's just a personal choice. So first things first, we need to make our 6x6 base, which we can do because we've got our 12x12 piece of cardstock. So I want you to extend your guillotine if you're using your larger guillotine. Just make sure my little leg's out there, pop that down on there. And we're going to trim this to 12 inches by 6. So bearing in mind, we've already got that perfect 12 inches because that's what this measures. It just means I need to trim this down to 6 inches. So I'm going to just slide that across there for the time being. take this, I always say this, I must sound like a broken record, but it's just so you get this nice, neat, absolute precision cut when it comes to it. Make sure your cardstock is pushed up to the top of your board, so you push that right up to the very top and line that up on the number 6. And because you've got the grid all the way down, you can line that up perfectly. And again, then what we're going to do is just trim that down. So now you have got your 6 by 6, you have got your 12 by 6. This is what we're going to do in a moment. We're going to fold that in half, but I just want you to take this other piece of cardstock because this is going to be part of that accordion fan card that pulls out on the front. And this one we're going to keep to the size of 12, but we're just going to trim this down to 5 inches. So taking this down to the 5-inch mark, we are now going to the 5-inch, pushing it up to the top, and trimming that down. So you've got a piece at 12 by 6 and 12 by 5. And I just want you to get one more piece. So if you are using that chocolate, grab another piece of the chocolate card. So if I just pop that down there for a second, just take another piece of the cardstock, and we just need an extra piece because our accordion is quite a biggish card, and I just want you to trim this down too. And if I just get this panel right piece, just bear with me a minute, Joe, while I just find me instructions. You need to choose this to 5 inches by 4 inches. So you'll end up with a piece at 5 inches by 4. So you'll have 3 pieces of card that will be your card base and the style of the accordion, okay? So bearing in mind, move your guillotine out of the way for a second and all your spare bits of cardstock. Let's just put that down. I want you to bring your scoreboard because we're going to do our scoring now. And you can use your Scoremaster or your big scoreboard. It's entirely up to you for this one. But we're going to go back to that first piece that was 12 inches by 6. And we are going to score this. Let me just find my scoring tool, Joe. I've popped it back in my bag. What am I like? We need to use that one, don't we? So you're going to take it onto the landscape, so the full 12 inches, and you're going to score this at 6 inches in. And this will be your 6 by 6 card base. So all you're going to do is make sure, and if you notice I did a couple of little score lines there, and then I'm just going to push that to the corner, and then I'm going to burnish that with my scoring tool. There you go. So that is your 6 by 6 base, all ready to go. I want you now to take the 12 inches by 5 inches piece, push it up to that side of the board. Always important that you do that as well, so your measurements are correct. And this time we are going to score this to, and I've just got my little pieces ready and ready to, do you know what, I'm just going to share you with you a second. Look at my notes. Just look at my notes, Joe. This is what I'm like. I write everything down, scribble everything down on bits of paper. But we're going to score this at 2 inches. So 2 inches. Couple of score lines. We're just teasing that scoring. And then we're going to do 4 inches. So you go to number 4. And again, a couple of little, because what we're doing is just breaking the fibres there. I'm not being too heavy-handed. I don't know if you've noticed, Joe, I'm not being too heavy-handed because I don't want to go through the whole of the cardstock, but just a couple of little gentle score lines. The next marking is 7 inches, so you're going to move across to your 7 inches. There we go. And then lastly, we're doing a 10-inch score. So you go up to your 10 and you do your 10-inch. There we go. So that now has got all our score pieces in.
So where were those scores again, Debbie?
So I'll just repeat those. So this is your 12-inch by 5-inch piece, and you're scoring at 2 inches, 4 inches, 7 inches, and 10 inches.
Fantastic.
So that is all the score marks on that piece. Okay, so I'm just going to move my scoreboard for a second, because I want to make this for the accordion part, and I'm just going to show you for a second. This accordion part in the moment is actually 15 inches, which is a slightly impossibility with a 12 by 12 pad. However, we can kind of fudge it and make it by extending it, Joe. Ooh. And that's what we're going to do in a moment. So that to get that accordion piece, this is what we're going to do now. So remember that other piece that I asked you to cut? Julie
was just asking what board was that you were using, Debbie?
This is the big score. You can do it on a Scoremaster. So I carry my big score in the back of my car with me everywhere, Joe. At home, I've got my Scoremaster. You can use your Scoremaster. The only thing that you would do is, because obviously it doesn't go to the 10, it stops at 8, I believe, on the Scoremaster. What is it, 8? Yeah, I think it stops at the 8. You just take take that last mark, move it along and just measure on that extra, you know, the
Okey-doke.
extra little bit. So when you're using it, that's what you can do. So don't forget 2, 4, 7 and 10, okay?
Brilliant.
When you move that, if you were using it on the score master, I'll just show you for a second, you would take that fold in, push that into the board,
and then score
and then
again.
just measure in at 3, and that'll
Awesome.
give you that extra piece, okay?
Thank you, Debbie.
So what we're going to do, Joe, is I did talk, we're going to extend it slightly, but what we're going to do is, oops, that's your card blank, Debbie, not your extra piece. Bring in this 5 inches by 4 inches piece. We need to just attach this to the end. And what you want to do with this, Joe, and I just use this as a measurement, as a guide, and I'm going to use my glass mat for this so that you can see this. I've popped it onto my number 10 mark, but I want to just attach it 1 inch in. So if you're doing it with a glass mat, you just want to attach it to 1 inch in of the piece. Now, if you think about this piece, it's actually 2 inches. So you could take a pen and a pencil and mark it, or you could use something visual like a glass mat, and you can attach that to your piece. And because I am using my glass mat, you can see I've got my lines perfectly on there. I know that I need to attach it and put my glue just onto this little part here to attach this piece.
Awesome.
So I want you to do this bit now so that we've got the full width of the accordion ready. So just take whatever chosen, is it tape you're going to use? I'm going to use red liner tape, one of my new friends at the minute. But what I'm just going to do is, I'm just going to attach a piece on there. So let's just pop that just on that end. And again, I'm just going to grab my scissors, Joe. I'm going to take that off. And then you're going to attach that piece to the end. So that should be nice. You could use your tape pens, you know, anything like that. Wet glue, if wet glue's your choice. But again, it's just a personal choice. Finger lift tape, anything that you want just to attach there on. So what I'm just going to do now is add that onto that inch base. Before I know, I'll have got a piece of cardstock. I'm trying to keep that nice and flush as well, Joe. If you do manage to go off it just slightly, don't worry. But now what we've got is this lovely long piece that actually measures at 15 inches by the 5. Okay?
Brilliant.
Right, so what we're going to do now are all the folds. So
Okay.
are we all right to do the folds, Joe?
What do you want to crack on with the folds, or do you want to take a little pause?
I'm okay. If anybody wants to have a little pause, we can have a little pause.
Should we have a little pause?
Yep, entirely
Let's
up
have
to
a
you,
little
Joe.
pause.
I'm in your capable hands.
Awesome. Did you want to just recap the other 2 cardstock sizes
Yes.
and the scores there, Debbie, as well, whilst
Yes.
we're at it? Is that all right?
So when you've got your 3 pieces cut, you have a piece cut at 6 by 12 inches.
Yep.
And you take the measurement at 6 inches to create your 6-inch base. So this is
Wonderful.
how you get your 6-inch base. I am using it as a top fold, so I'm going to do it on a tent fold. You'll know it by a top fold, tent fold. If you want to do your cards the normal opening way, that is entirely up to you. It doesn't affect what we're going to be doing.
Awesome.
It's just a personal choice. So that is your 12 by 6 inches scored in the middle to create your 6 by 6 blank. Then you had that piece where we measured this one at 12 inches by 5 inches. So the width that way, if you think about it, is 5 inches.
Yep.
And the first piece was 12. And then you added that extra bit, which was 5 inches by 4. And then we put the score marks, 2 inches, 4 inches, 7 inches, 10 inches. And then we just attached that 5 by 4 piece 1 inch in. And that means now we've got a 15 inches by 5 inches cardstock ready to do our accordion fold in a moment.
Brilliant. I tell you what then, we'll just give everyone else a little chance to catch up, just if anyone's still scoring away, Debbie. Whilst they do that, I just want to whiz through a couple of other items that I think you're going to love, which we've got on the show today. So, the Essential. We shouldn't be called white stamping card, should be called Everything card is what it should be called, because it's a 300 GSM. It's brilliant for stamping. It's also great for construction, die cutting, embossing. You can really do it all with this one, and it's on a fantastic multi-buy for you. 4 of these at £30 or $42 if you wanted to go for that one. Now, one of my absolute favourites that we haven't used is, of course, the craft card, which is this one just here, and we do have that in stock. It's really gorgeous, 280 GSM, 50 sheets, perfect with your vintage diary collection. This is $9.99 or $14.99, any 4 for £30 or $42, which is brilliant. I'm pretty sure you can do a mix and match on this and the white stamping card as well, so you can grab that. Oh, actually across all 4 of these, which is brilliant. You get one of each for that price. Then what we've got is the gorgeous Precious Metals collection from Centura Pearl. How gorgeous are these colours? They are just beautiful. That one in particular I love. So that is your precious golds. And we also have your precious metals, which is this one just here. I did the details the other way around. So this is the details for the precious metals, which is this one. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? And also you've got the precious gold. Let me just show you that gold again one more time because it's super gorgeous. Here we are. There we go. Beautiful. You've got like a rose gold, you've got a really bright gold, an antique gold, and you've got a platinum in there too, which is wonderful. Now, we also have the, as I call it, the guillotine, as you guys probably call it, a lot of you, the guillotine, and it's the small one we've got available for you on the show today. Here's the details, $24.99 or $34.95. It is perfect for you getting those awesome precision cuts every single time. Should we pop in and have a little look at how our Skype crafters are getting on? Let's drop in on Jenny and see if she's following along thus far. Jenny, how are you going so far?
I'm doing great. I'm exactly where Debbie is, so I'm good.
Brilliant. Glad that you are keeping up. Anything you need to know, you just give me a little wave, Jenny, and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
So that's Jenny, and we'll drop in on April in just a couple of minutes as well. Let me just see if you... oh, Joy says, Joe, loving your haircut. You look very handsome and quite grown up. Thank you. Kind of like a professor. Oh, what would I be a professor of? Sequins and glitter, I reckon. And bad pop music. That would be what it was. Joy says, I love my CC craft card. I use it all the time. Great question from Gwenda G. Says, for the base, could we use A3 cardstock? It measures 16 and a half. So you just still trim it down, would you, to the measurements you gave?
Trim it down to the measurements that I gave you, but absolutely you can do. Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Anne is saying hi and crafting along. Michelle's having a lovely time. Helen loves the gold sparkle iridescence in that chocolate cardstock. It's beautiful, isn't it? And Terry Lee saying the colour of the cardstock is rich, so deep. And pretty as well. Cheryl says, can't wait till my collection gets here. Love these craft alongs. Debbie and Joe, y'all make this so much fun. And Susan saying how great a teacher Debbie is. Absolutely, I second that. Right, let's drop back in on April. Oh, and Jenny, sorry, and see how she's getting on. Well, she'd frozen a bit there. We thought you'd lost you there for a second, Jenny, but you are with us.
Yep, I'm here.
I'm loving your hair, Jenny, I must say. It's a fabulous colour you've got on that.
Yep, I get a lot of compliments, even when I just go to the store. Everybody loves it.
It is awesome. It actually fits quite nice with the colour scheme here as well. Crafts and Paint. It's like you've colour matched. You're very on brand today, so thank you for that. Yeah. Right, I'll drop it back in on you after the next stage, Jenny, and see how you're getting on. Let's see how April's getting on. April, how are you doing so far? Have you got any questions?
Nope, I'm got everything ready.
Ah, awesome. Two Gold Star crafters we've got today, clearly.
I know.
Right, I'll drop back in on you very soon then, April, in that case. Can't see any questions. Just so in total, that width of that piece of card, with the two pieces joined, Pamela is saying, is it 15 inches in total once it's all joined together?
So it will measure in at 15 inches. So when you take it back to your bottom glass mat, it measures in at 15 inches. So 15 inches across by 5 is
Brilliant.
what it will end up with.
Well, do you know what? In that case, I think everyone's ready to go, Debbie.
Lovely. So we've got our piece now. So what we're going to do are all the folds. So we're going to do a mountain, a valley, until we get to the end. And that's what creates that lovely accordion feature. So starting from the left-hand side is where we're going to start with. We're going to use, now you could do with your bone folder for this one because it's a nice, you want those crisp lines, those crisp score lines to be prominent. So we're going to fold that up first. So to get that mountain fold, it's folding upwards. So we're going to go upwards and we're going to take it so you've got it this way. Then we're going to go into the valley. So we're going to take that in. And we're going to, and so you'll see actually it creates two pieces which are 2 inches. So you've got a 2-inch piece and a 2-inch piece.
Awesome.
Make sure your score lines are nice and crisp. It makes a real difference when you are using this card. And then again, you're going to do that mountain fold. So you're going to push it upwards. So we're going to push that up and we're going to take our scoring tool. There we go. So you've now got your, and if I show it you that way, you've got your mountain, you've got your valley, and then you've got your mountain again. So of course, this last one is going to be pushed in because it's going to be our valley card. And this is what creates that lovely accordion feature. And it really is lovely. This is a real nice, fancy, fun fold card, this one. I love something a little bit different. But now what you've got is that lovely fan, and when you open it up, you've got that lovely fan feature, that lovely accordion feature that drops out, and it just looks absolutely fabulous. Now again, when we're attaching this, but we're not doing any attaching just yet, because we're going to get all this cardstock on. But I just wanted to show you, you can either place this onto the front of the card, where you have it opening from the side, which is absolutely fine if that's what you want to do. And do you know what, Joe? I might change it up a little bit with me.
Oh, you're going rogue, Debbie.
I might go a little bit rogue. But the way that the way that I did it initially is where I've used it as a tent fold or a top fold card, and where you just stick it onto the side. And again, it's entirely up to you. Either way looks incredibly lovely. You know, you're not, whichever way you want to do it. And this is what I love about craft alongs. I get to see the results because people send the photos in later, and it's just absolutely fabulous that you do this. So that is a choice which way you want to hold it. But that is your card base done.
Fabulous.
Done and dusted. So we're going to do all the extra bits now of all the measuring, because we're going to make sure the inside of our card is equally as nice as the outside of our card. So we're going to do our matting and layering with our papers. So I want you to get your paper pad. Now then, I've been using the 12 by 12 in mine. However, if you think about this, this is a 6 by 6 card blank. Do we still have the 6 by 6? Has that gone as well? Wow, you guys have absolutely loved this collection. So what I will say is, if you've got the choice of either, you can take the choice of either. You can use the 6 by 6 or the 12 by 12. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to stick with my 12 by 12 one though, if that's okay, Joe, because that's the whole point of these craft alongs. Do you know, I always say when it comes to paper pads, genuinely mean it, if you see something in a Sarah signature range that you absolutely love, you make sure you get it. Wow, we've got it.
Maybe the lovely Christine Mahoney could send a few pages out. You know, I'm sure if she sent 2 pages to every crafter doing the craft along now, I think she's got enough to cover it. I do. If you're watching, Christine, hello.
Right, so it's just
if for anyone that doesn't know Christine is, she's our resident queen of the paper pads here at Crafty TV.
Isn't she just?
She really is.
Absolutely is. So it's a case of choosing. I mean, there's so many beautiful papers in this pad. I'm stuck for choice, Joe. I say stuck for choice. I just don't know which one to choose because they're all so gorgeous. Right, so let me just. Do you know what I love about it as well? There's elements that are in this collection. So that beautiful stamp and die set is actually in the paper as well. It's just indeed. So beautiful.
It's not in stock at the moment, this paper pad, is it? We will try our hardest to get it back for you.
No, alas not. Alas not. But not to worry, Joe, not to worry. Because if you're doing this craft along with your kit that you've already got, then you've already got it, which I just think is absolutely fab. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do our layers. So for this one, because I've chosen the beautiful brown one, it doesn't matter whether you choose brown or the cream one. It looks absolutely fine without the other mats. And do you know what I mean by another mats, Joe?
Yeah.
What I've done is I've used my distress tool to distress around the edges, and I've also taken some of that beautiful ink that we have in our collections. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure these pieces down, bearing in mind this is 6 by 6. And if you follow mine and Craig's rule of thumb, we always tend to go down 1/4 of an inch of an increment. So I want 3 pieces of 5 by 3 3/4 square. Did I say that right? 5 3/4 square. 5 3/4 square. So take your, I had to work that out and say it out loud, producer Erin, because I'm like, do you know, sometimes I have to say these things again. I have got my instructions at the side of me. I don't know why I'm not just looking, because they're all written down there for me. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this down and we're going to chop these pieces. And again, I'm using the 12 by 12. I've got that snippability factor. So this one is 5 3/4. So it's the next increment down on your guillotine, whether you're the large or the small, and you take it down to that one before the 6, and that is your 5 3/4 measurement. And I get exactly the same, another 5 3/4 piece, making sure flush to the top, side down there, and down we go. And I'll have myself in a moment 2 pieces that measure at 5 3/4 square. So let me just turn it that way, because I quite like that dark deep brown there. There we go. So that's the 2 pieces. So that's for one for the front and one for the inside. But I am going to be making the inside look as nice as the outside. So I need a 3rd piece. So on this one, we're going to use that 3 times. So we've got those that fit perfectly on there. and you can see that has just got that lovely bit of a trim. But we're going to do a little bit of distressing at this stage, and we're just going to do these pieces first, and then we'll concentrate on the accordion pieces in a moment. So, do you have your distress tool? Have you got your distress tool?
We have it on the show.
If you haven't, I was just going to say, Joe, we have it on the show. If you haven't got one, pair of scissors will work on this stage. Absolutely fine. And you need your pokey tool as well, so grab a pokey tool too. So we're going to do a little bit of distressing and a bit of ripping around the edges. Now I know that this is not for everybody, but I do like that vintage feel that it gives when you distress the paper even more. And I know this is a fact that not everybody loves this, so this is an optional part for you. If you want to do this piece, you absolutely can. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my distress tool and we're going to rough it up around the edges. And when I say rough it up, you've got all these little, what's the word? Notches. Thank you, producer Erin. You just take your notch and run it across the piece of your paper, and it just gives that lovely distressed feel. And I love that lovely tone look that it gives. It's
great,
absolutely fabulous. And you just give it a little bit of a rough edge just around the side. Now I said to you that if you haven't got that, it's absolutely fine, because you can take your scissors and you can achieve a similar look, not quite the same, but you can achieve a similar look. The only problem with a pair of scissors is you need to be careful, and not only that, it can tear your cardstock, which is fine if that's what you want to go for, but I prefer the precision that this lovely distress tool gives us, which is why it's an invaluable part. Although I am borrowing Craig's at the moment, Joe, because mine must have fallen out of my rather messy bag.
He's just left. I've just seen him walk out, so you're fine.
So he'll not know. I'll leave it here for him.
He went about 3 minutes ago. I just saw him going with an armful of goodies somewhere, so you're all right.
Oh, I bet he's planning for all his shows later on this week. That's what he'll be doing. Right, so again, just take that around, and you're going to repeat that on all three pieces. Like I said, this is an optional choice if you want to do this, but I do quite like this. It gives a lovely distress feel. And again, you can distress it a little bit more because we're going to use the inks in a moment as well. So again, just rough that round, all those pieces. And then I'm going to do a bit of tearing as well. It's the only time in the craft when you can get a little bit messy when you want to go all vintagey and a bit grungy looking, which is what I do love. I do like this.
I like it. It's not too precise, is it, this sort of crafting?
Exactly, and it just gives it a real nice, more of a vintage feel. I mean, this collection is just totally uber vintage anyway.
It's uber what now?
Uber vintage.
Uber vintage,
Uber
like
vintage,
it.
Vintage, yes. A bit uber vintage. It's a gorgeous collection, isn't it? It's one of my favourites. This and the letters to my heart. Oh gosh, I can't even say
Did
it
that
right
launch
now.
earlier this week?
Yes, I had
a right strop on when I realised it was launching on my days off.
I nearly had a strop on yesterday because it nearly ran out. Well, actually, I think it's nearly all sold out now. If those things went through, because there wasn't many left. So there weren't many left.
No, it was very, very busy, I know.
Absolutely. Now, we've got our lovely three pieces. You should have got them all nice and distressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now give you free license to get a little tour.
I tore some cardstock on air a little while back, and I thought it was going to be an angry mob outside waiting for me. Got in a lot of trouble. I did.
Did you really?
Yes. But I was just tearing it for the sake of tearing it, you see, not to create something gorgeous like you are. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I'm giving you free license to do this bit if you want to do it, and I'm just tearing a little bit all the way around on all four sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pokey tool as a little tool to help me curl it. So
nice.
To give that little distress feature, and this is when you have got, I'm giving you permission to tear your papers up. Absolutely love this. This is just another little way of giving it an extra vintagey feel. So I'm going to try and remember where I've put all my tears in. I'm using my pokey tool just to literally wrap the cardstock or the paper just around to give it that little curled feel. Do you know when a book page is turned over? It just gives it a real nice little extra distressy feel to it. And again, I can see I love this technique. I once did a demonstration in a garden centre when we were allowed a couple of years back, and there's a lovely lady, she won't mind mentioning her because she's a regular customer at Chesterfield. Her name's Lizzie, and she don't like this look at all. I once did it on a demonstration. She was like, no, Debbie, it's not for me. It's not for me, this one. Nah, it's not for me. So like, that's fine. This is a personal choice if you want to do this, but it's nice to have a little play. And if you've never dabbled with it before, it's just to show you the kind of effect that you can get with this when you do use, and it's just an extra way. You can curl it with your fingers if you want, but the pokey tool helps me move it a little bit better than what my normal fingernails would do.
Awesome. I think it's a really effective technique.
It's lovely. It's a lovely technique, Joe. I love it. I do love it. I love getting a bit grungy like this and giving it an old turn. I'll tell you what else looks really nice is when you put like old book pieces. Do you know, like book pages? Distressed book pages behind the back.
Nice.
And have them peeking out, or extra little features. Do you know, like if you want to add some floral pieces to it and stuff like that, makes it look really nice.
This collection's almost a little bit mixed media without doing any mixed media, isn't it? When you look at the look and feel that you get from the finished projects. I think that's because of all the layers, obviously the layers you're creating, Debbie, but then all the layers that you've got within the cardstocks themselves as well. It makes it appear that there are more layers maybe than there are, which is awesome.
And I do love this. And the fact that it's a double-sided paper pad that we're using here as well. You've got that lovely other colour coming through on the other side, which is really nice. So again, I'm just doing all that all the way around. I'm hoping you're all keeping up okay and that we're doing all right.
No one letting me know they're falling behind at the moment, Debbie, so I think we're doing all good.
Fabulous. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in, and I've chosen Friar Brown for this one. You could use Seal Brown. Friar Brown looks quite nice on this, Joe. And it just gives it a little bit of, again, of that distressed feature. You can already see the papers are absolutely beautiful. You don't really need to add much to them, but it just gives it an extra little bit of an extra bit of a vintage feel. Plus, where you've actually used your distress tool, it really does give it that aged look.
Awesome.
So it doesn't look, what's the word? It doesn't look, I'm trying to think of the word. Yeah, it doesn't look new. Looks old,
awesome.
And vintagey.
If you want to get that Friar Brown ink pad, it's in that 5-piece opaque ink pad collection, which is on the show. I'll run you through what other colours you're getting in there in a little while.
And it will work, because I know people have said to me about opaque ink. You can use your opaque ink as well as your water reactive, as well as your quick dry ones as well, to create this effect. Absolutely. Right, so I'm just going to go around all my pieces, Joe. And you can really see that vintage tone coming through using this ink colour. But like I said, Seal Brown will work. You possibly will get a more slight look with the Sandstorm, but I do prefer Friar Brown. It's just a lovely colour. I am saying that colour right, aren't I? Because I know me and Craig used to struggle with this word
Did you used to call it Friar Brown?
Friar Brown.
Friar Brown, yeah. Like Friar Tuck.
That's exactly what Leanne told us to do. She went, Debbie, because she sat us down. It were at Crafty a couple of years back.
Were you in the law court of Leanne?
We were in the law court of Leanne, yes. With a tipple or two.
Oh,
so
okay.
It weren't too bad. We were enjoying a little tipple, and we were talking, we were saying it was a word that we were really struggling with. And she's like, just remember.
Erin's asking what a tipple is. It's a drink, an alcoholic beverage normally.
Yes, that's what I'm meaning. Sorry, producer Erin, I keep forgetting. Right, so there we go. We've got 3 pieces already distressed. Absolutely beautiful. You've got this lovely distressed tone look. It just gives it a real old agey look. And then you just choose which ones you're going to pop. Which one are you going to pop on the front?
And I guess if you didn't want to distress the edges and ink them, you wouldn't need to, would you, Debbie?
Exactly.
Awesome.
If you don't want to do that and you just want to do the ink technique, absolutely can. If you don't want to distress around the edges, then you don't have to, Joe. But what we're just going to do is we're going to stick these onto our base card and we're going to get that ready. So I'm just looking for me all-purpose. Let's grab the all-purpose glue. You could use your tape pen at this point. It's entirely up to you which glue you use. I prefer the wet glue when I'm coming to this, just because I've got that extra time to give it that wiggle around and get it into place. So I'm just going to pop the first layer down. When you're choosing your paper and you're thinking about your accordion card going on this, Debbie's saying that I was going to take it the other way, but I ain't. I've done it my 10th way now anyway, so it don't matter. Me going to change things up. I should have thought of that before I stuck it down. Just bear in mind when you're putting your accordion on the front, if you've got a really lovely pattern that you want to keep, you could actually do a little bit of hollowing around your cardstock so you get a little bit more out of your paper. So just bear that in mind when you are using your papers, as we know they are very sought after at the moment. So what we're going to do is just going to pop these 2 pieces now on the inside. So we've got our inside looking, up to now, quite nice with our outside pieces as well. And again, this is optional. If you don't want to do this part, you don't have to do the inside part. But I just like that feel it gives us. So again, just push that down, and then we're going to do exactly the same. And I think what we'll do is, Joe, I'll take a little bit of a breather after this. Then we'll do his mats and layers for his accordion parts. And then we'll get ready to do some of the elements that we've got in the kits. And we'll have a talk through all those pieces soon in a moment. So that is the outside base done. So you've got your base on the front and on the inside as well. So we'll have a little breather so that people can catch up to this stage, and then we'll move on to the accordion part and we'll do all our decoration for that in a moment.
Brilliant, Debbie. That's awesome. I hope everyone is keeping up so far. Any questions you got, anything you need recapping, just let me know in the comments, and I'll pop those questions over to Debbie, which is fantastic. Dawn had a little question about the stamping card, and Dawn wanted to know if you can use watercolor and watercolor markers on your stamping card. You're probably going to want to use your watercolor cardstock for that, in all honesty. Dawn, you'll be able to find that as well over on the website, so do go and check it out over there. But if you were doing sort of blended backgrounds, then you might want to use the stamping card. It was Dawn who was asking you about, can you use watercolor markers on stamping card, Debbie?
Watercolor markers on stamping card, yes.
Oh, you can? Awesome.
Because you can use quite a lot on stamping card. However, to get your true watercolor effect and to get the most premium results, the optimum results, watercolor cardstock would be better for your water-based products. However, anybody who's been using our stamping card will know it does a lot of things, and you can cover it for a lot of things. But for your optimum results, your watercolor or your water-based products, watercolor cardstock is what I would always choose. But you can use stamping card. Give it a try, and you'll see what I mean.
Awesome. Helen Moore said as well, is there an alternative tool you can use for the blending tool? It looks similar to a makeup sponge. I think that's our blending sponges, isn't it? Yep. I call them blending eggs, and they're not called that, but they do look like little eggs. You will find them over on the Wendy site. I don't know what that is. On the website. What's a Wendy site? I don't know. Don't Google it, just in case. Over on the website, by popping in blending sponges, you'll be able to find it. The amount of times you say something, you say, oh, Google it, and you never know what's going to come up. Let me go and share with you the fantastic little collection that we've got as well. It's the Distress Tool collection. And in there, you are going to get your bone folders, you're also going to get that distress tool, you get some spritzers, the all-purpose glue, and you're going to get those fine glue applicators as well. Now, we also have a glue and tape collection, and essentially, the glue and tape collection is these two here. So the fine tip applicators, your all-purpose, and then your dotty and extra strong tape pens as well. So you just wouldn't get the other tools that are in there. There you are. Now, I did briefly mention a moment ago the Opaque Pigment ink pad collection that we've got available for you. I'll just quickly run you through what you're getting in there. So in this one, you're going to receive the Straw Bale, which is this gorgeous creamy yellow colour there. You've got the Seal Brown, the Friar Brown, the Smoke Plume, and the Spar Blue. So this is a little succinct 5-piece collection that we've got for you, which are the colours that are going to work with this Sarah Signature range, which is absolutely awesome. Lots of you talking and chatting away in the comments, letting us know a lot of love for that last technique and also the collection as a whole. Should we go and have a little look how our Skype crafters are getting on? Jenny in Ohio, how are you getting on?
I'm doing great. I'm all caught up.
Fantastic.
It's a little bit challenging just because I can't see the video I'm watching is a little tiny bit delayed. So I'm listening very carefully to Debbie's words.
Okay, but how did you get on with that distressing technique? Was it okay?
Yep, I don't have the tool, which is amazing because I have like a ton of tools, but so I used my scissors and it turned out great.
Brilliant. Can we have a little look at it, Jenny?
Sure.
Oh, gorgeous. Love it.
Oh, I love it.
Love the purple.
Love the purple.
Gorgeous.
Love the purple.
Yep, had to go with purple.
Of course you did. Just, you know, to match the rest of the ensemble, Jenny. We love that. Yep. Okay, Jenny, I'll drop in on you again very, very soon. Should we see how April's getting on?
Hello.
How are you getting on, April?
Pretty good. I'm almost caught up on the inside.
Fantastic. Oh, it's looking lovely.
Ooh, yes, I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous.
Brilliant. Love it. How did you find that distressing technique? Was it okay?
Yeah, I actually do that a lot.
Ah.
So.
We got a
Yay, get
pro
off
in the
me own
house. Okay, April, brilliant. I'll drop in on you again very, very soon. Let's have a little look. Sarah Brown says, oh, look, two of my favourite people, Debbie and Joe. I love you both. We love you too, Sarah. Charlotte says, still listening and occasionally watching whilst working. I will watch this back later. Norma's loving how this card is coming on. Susan's loving your outfit, Debbie. She says, you look amazing. She does look amazing,
Oh, it's
doesn't
my
she?
dress. I've got a dress on today, Joe.
Oh, it's lovely. I love it.
Thank you very much.
And also says, Mary Lee, Debbie, you look beautiful today. Love your dress with the gorgeous roses on it. I'm loving this craft along. You are such a good teacher. That's a good point, actually. Some of you I know love to watch the craft along in real time. I know some of you like to watch it through once and then go back and start again. There's not really any wrong or right way. What I would say is if you are crafting along with it in real time, you're definitely going to want to, well, we're going to want you to send us a picture of your finished creation, and you can send that to along the bottom of the screen there, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. So I'll remind you again about that once we are all done. Looking at the comments, Debbie, I think everyone is pretty much caught up and good to go. A lot of love for Jenny's hair in the comments as well. Now, if you want to go for the collection, absolutely you can. I'll just quickly whiz you through what you are getting here in this collection because it is absolutely awesome. And you're getting so many freebies as well, which I know you're going to love. So in here, you're going to get 2 embossing folders, which is great. So you're going to get the Dear Diary. You're also going to receive a moment in time. You've got these brilliant wax seals. Now, they're great for seals, but they also work well as like little embellishments that you can pop onto your cards. You've got the page edges dies. You're going to get the pocket watch, which I think is going to be great for steampunk projects. You've got the adorning sentiment stamps. You've also got this one here, which is the exquisite embellishments. You're going to receive the antique frames. You've got these, oh, these are just exquisite, aren't they? These awesome vellums. They are the most amazing quality. They've got a real lovely opacity to them, which is brilliant. Just absolutely gorgeous. And you're also going to receive in there that luxury cardstock too, which has got the lovely lavender, that gorgeous chocolate and that lovely cream. That's not where we're done though, because what you're also getting in, there's so many bits, I'll just move those out there for a moment. We're also going to throw in a load of freebies for you too. So you've got your rub-on transfers, you're not going to be paying for those, you're getting them included. You've also got your traditional jute twine. Giving the game away now, haven't I? Look, this is how I know what's what, you see. Can you imagine if I didn't have these little things on the back? Oh, I wouldn't cope. You've also then got the wooden frames. We're going to give you the cotton ribbons and the metal charms in there as well. £103.90 in the UK, £139.50 if you are in the US. Use your Club Inspire discount though, £83.12 for Platinum members in the UK, £111.60 for our Club Inspire Platinum members across the pond. But I think we're pretty much good to go. Are you ready for the next step, Debbie?
Yes, indeed I am. So we're going to do all the matting and layering. So I know it's a little bit long-winded this, but you want to get all these pieces right. So we're going to take you through each stage, and then we're going to carry on with the decoration. For me, the best bit, which is what I love to do, which is adding those extra embellishments. So for the accordion part, so this fancy fold in the middle, fancy fold, we need to do all the measurements to create the mats and layers. Now, when you think about this now, this is actually a 5 by 5 inch square, that main base there that opens up inside because we've joined those two pieces together. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose, now this again is up to you what you're going to choose. I'm choosing the contrasting colour, so I've gone a little bit back to front with this one. On the main card that I did the cream and chose the brown as the matte part. The matting and layering part, but this time I'm doing it the opposite way around. And again, you can do this with lots of other things. I mean, those gorgeous Centura Pearl cards that you had, Joe, in the show, if you've got some of those colour tones are going to work absolutely beautiful with this vintage collection. But I am going back to the cardstock, that beautiful mixed card pack, that gorgeous pearlescent double-sided finish onto this. And we're going to chop this down. So you need to create, first of all, a base for that part where we've joined the two together. Bearing in mind it's 5 by 5 inches, so what I'm doing is taking a quarter of an inch off either side, so that is 4 3/4 square. So again, taking and using the guillotine, it's the notch before the 5, that is your 4 3/4 mark, and then that creates the perfect mat for the middle part in there, and it also covers up that join as well, so you can see that's ready. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create, and I did this piece now with this main piece, the main part of the accordion. I chose to do the mats on the inside of all of those layers. So I'm going to give you the measurements for those, Joe. So we've done the main one. So what we're going to do now is, and we need to create 2 pieces that are 4 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch. So with that in mind, I always tend to try and get the most out of my cardstock. Do you know what I'm using this, Joe? So I'm going to go to 4 3/4 inches. Again, that one before. And this time I'm taking 2 3/4 inches, which is the one before 3. So you can see this piece actually fits on the inside of there perfectly. So you've got your 2 mats, and we need to repeat that one again. So you're going to take your cardstock. We're going to measure at 2 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches. So you need 2. Let me just repeat that again. You need 2 pieces at 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, 1 piece at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and these are all inches, by the way, just in case you're wondering. And then we need 2 extra pieces at, again, 4 3/4 inches. So we'll go to the 4 3/4 inch mark. And then this time we need 1 at 1 3/4 inch. So it's the 1 increment in to the number 2. And you need 2 of those pieces. So we'll repeat that, and I'll just show you that these now are all your layers for your main part there, 1 of those and 1 of those, which is your 2. And then at the front, you've got 1 that fits in there and 1 that fits on the front. So that is all your pieces for that part. And then we're going to take a patterned cardstock, Joe. So choose another pattern from your papers, whether it be your 12 by 12 or your 6 by 6. And these measurements, again, going down 1/4 increment. So I'll bring this back in so I can show you what I mean. 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. We take off 1/4 increment, 4 1/2 inch square. 4 1/2, cool. 4 1/2. So this is what we need for this part. So again, choosing your paper, you take that to the 4 1/2 mark, which is 2 increments up from your guillotine. Chop that down, and again repeat that. So that is the perfect mat for behind that panel. Excuse me, got a little tickle there, Joe. Then we're going to take our piece. Oh, I love her. I don't want to chop her down. I'm not chopping her down.
Off with her head.
I'm keeping her for something else, Joe. I'm keeping her for something else. So what we're going to do is we want 2 pieces now to fit on these inside panels, which was, and if I go back over the measurement again, 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/4. If you take off 1/4 inch either side, you're ended up with 4 1/2 inch by 2 1/2 inch, and you want 2 pieces at that. So we're going to go in at 2 1/2. Let me just make sure I've got that right. 2 1/2 inches. There we go. That's 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And that piece fits perfectly in there as well. And we'll repeat that again. So you've got another one for the same one we've got. Let me just pick this other one up so I can show you. Got all your mats and layers. Put these all to one side when you've done, Joe, because otherwise you'll get everything all mixed up. That one fits onto there perfectly. So we've got 3 all done. And now we're going to move on to those 2 small ones. Again, I'm not going to use that bit. I'll keep to this piece that I'm using. And this one, if you remember this panel, these 2 panels were actually 4 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inch. So taking that 1/4 inch off again, what we're doing this time is 4 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 twice. Okay, so 1 1/2 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And these 2, Joe, fit perfectly into that panel. So you've got 2 pieces that fit perfectly there.
Brilliant.
Now we're not quite done because the back of the accordion.
Before you move on to that next part, Debbie, a couple of questions coming through in the comments. Would you mind just recapping the measurements again of the mats that you just did, and then also the pattern papers on the top?
Absolutely.
What they should be.
Right, so let me just bring these back in for a second. So for that main part of inside the accordion, and if you always remember that this is a 5-inch square. So this first mat is 4 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches.
Brilliant.
This panel is 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches.
Brilliant.
So that's your measurement for that one. For these two next pieces, that's the widest two of the accordion. So these two panels here, these two pieces are 4 3/4. So if I just do that there for a second, 4 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And the panels that go in those are 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And that's
Perfect.
twice. So that's your two panels. And then these last two pieces, these two plain pieces are 4 3/4 inches by 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. And the two panels that go inside there measure at 4.5 inches by 1.5 inches.
Brilliant.
So that is all your front part of your accordion. And we'll come to those back in a minute. What we're going to do now is on the inside, because look how beautiful it looks when you match them up. And it really does make a difference. You could keep that plain, Joe, but I really do like the full feel of this, where it's got that lovely vintage tone running through all the panels that you've got, including the inside. So for that, we're just going to repeat. And if you think about this, I've not actually matted and layered those. I've just done one layer. So going back to those first for the plain pieces, and I'll just go through all those pieces again with you so you know, but I'm just doing this in the pattern cardstock. For the back of this, it's 4 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and that's twice. So we'll do those bits first, Joe. Quite like her, so I'm going to try and get her in on this pattern because I really do like her. Let me think. I'm going through her head. Actually, though, do you know what? It won't look too bad if you use. Oh, mind you know. Right, Joe. I'm going to think about this one. I'm going to move her to one side again because I really do like her and I don't want to use her. I think she's so lovely. There's some beautiful pieces in that pattern paper. So this is 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and that's times 2. So that fits perfectly, and I'm going to bring it in to show you. Fits perfectly in there on both of those inner panels.
And
okay?
that was 4 3/4
4
by
and
2
3/4
3/4.
by 2 3/4,
Brilliant.
and that's times 2. And then for the smaller ones, can I get away with using her? I'm trying to use that. Have you noticed? I'm trying to get her in this demo. So these two panels are going to be 4 3/4 inches, and I'm having to go down to. I'm having to make sure I'm giving you these right. 4 3/4 inches by 1 3/4. So I am determined I'm going to use her at some point in this. So 1 3/4. Oh, I've got her head there. I'm going to just try and chop her off a little bit. By 4 3/4. And exactly the same for this panel. 1 3/4. I've used her, Joe. I've got her in. I've managed to get her in.
You haven't chopped her head off?
I haven't chopped her head off. I've chopped
good.
a bit of her bust off, but it'll do.
Oh.
Look, I'm still going to get to use her, and she's still going to look gorgeous because she's going to go and sit on the inside of those two panels there, and that's your measurements for those as well. So, Joe, that's all the measurements of all the matting and layering. And I'm just going to move all these bits out of the way. Don't throw your bits away, whatever you do. You can use these gorgeous papers and cardstock you're going to be able to use in other elements of your crafting. So don't throw those away, keep those. But what I want you to do is, while everyone's catching up, I just want you to give now a little distress round all your panels with your ink. If you want to take your distress tool and distress round each panel, absolutely you can. Me personally, I didn't do it on the insides of these. I kept it quite plain. I just used the ink. But if you want to distress it a bit more to give it a real grungy, lovely, vintagey feel, absolutely you can do. Okay, Joe? So I'm going to be doing all that little piece, and then we'll stick all those panels together in a moment. But what we'll just do is, while I'm doing this, Joe, is there anything, have you had any questions that they want to ask? Or anything like that? Or are we just good to carry on?
I think you're good with the inking for now, Debbie. I suppose, do you want to ink these and then stick them in and then we'll take a break? Is that right with you? Does
that is
sit with you?
totally fine
Brilliant.
with me. That is totally fine with me. We've got plenty of time to get this project completely finished in this 2 hours. And I promise you we'll get there. And we're even going to try and squeeze in that lovely envelope box at the end as well. We'll
An
try and get it
envelope
all
box?
in.
Oh, you're treating us
yeah,
today,
you need
Debbie.
it. You need now, because it's a dimensional card. You need an envelope. You need
Envelope?
I know, I'll give it a new name then. You need an envelope box or a box to pop it in if you're giving it to your recipient. But yes, because it's got dimension, it's got height to it as well. It's got a lot of thickness to it. It's not a flat card, this. I mean, it folds fairly flat, but it's not flat, if that makes any sense.
It does. It makes total sense, Debbie. Anne says, when it hurts to cut paper, laughing face. I think she's saying it's so beautiful, it's difficult to cut into these.
It is.
Debbie loves this style. Jean says, what colouring can you use it? Is it a Fryer Brown again?
It's Fryer Brown, this one, yeah. It's Fryer Brown that I'm using. Absolutely. I just love the colour. I think it works beautifully with the papers that are in this collection. Fryer Brown and Seal Brown, they work really lovely. Some of the darker pinks as well look really nice. Plum Jam looks lovely. Doesn't give you quite the same effect as a distressed old age look, but it does complement the colours of the paper pad. So yeah, you can mix it up and have a little try. You really can. It depends how aged you want it to look. And I really do like I said, because it's that vintage tone, I think this just gives it that real edge just by adding all of this on there. And like I said, if you want to distress the panels, please feel free to do so, because I think it would look absolutely gorgeous for how you use that, get that lovely distressed look. There we go. So I'm going to carry on doing that. I think I've just got a couple more pieces to do. Doesn't take long to do this effect. It's just literally going around the edges of your panels. But I've just got a couple there to do, Joe, and I'm nearly good to go. Really good to go.
Francine says she's joining us late. How do you make the card base? You will need to go back and have a look at that, Francine. But don't worry, when this ends, this craft along, you can go back to the start and you'll be able to see exactly how Debbie put it all together for you. All the instructions are there. I'm not sure if you can go back and start again whilst the show's on, can you?
I think I've done
when
it
you're
once.
live
I think I've tried before.
When we're live on Facebook, can you like midway through go back again, or do you have to wait until it ends before you can go back to the start?
You can rewind it while you're watching live. Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's always good to know.
I've tried it myself that before. Yeah, definitely. I don't think you can do that on YouTube, can you?
I'm not sure. No, I think on YouTube you need to wait for it to end, but I'm not sure. I'm not very technologically advanced. I won't lie to you, Debbie.
No, I'll be honest, Joe, neither am I. Now, please excuse me a minute, because we've run out of kitchen
Are you using your
roll.
dress, Debbie? Debbie.
It's black. I get away with it.
Well, it was. It's Fryer Brown now.
There's just no tissue under here. It's all disappeared. So might have to ask our lovely Tracy to go and grab me some kitchen roll, because there isn't any. But it dries pretty quick because it's that warm in here. I don't know what it's like at your part of the country or your part of across the pond. It's really lovely outside, isn't it, Joe?
Gorgeous out. It's so sunny.
Outside. Yeah, it was when I left home this morning as well. Absolutely beautiful. Right, so are we ready to stick them all together, Joe?
Yeah,
Let's stick all his panels. Then we'll get his accordion, all the panels stuck inside the accordion as well. Like I said, if I'd love to see, because I love that lovely distressed look. I'd like to see all these panels completely distressed. So I hope someone's trying that one, because I really do love this. And I love that technique as well. You could actually just distress the edge of your cardstock if you wanted to give it a little distressed look as well. It's entirely up to you. Depends on the look that you're wanting to recreate. So again, I'm just going to stick all these panels on with my all-purpose glue. And you see that by those measurements, it just gives you that beautiful, neat, perfect, absolutely perfect matte and layer feel to it. And I just, that's why you'll hear me and Craig talk about it ever such a lot, about just using a quarter of an increment. But again, that's a personal choice, and it's
entirely up to you. It seems like the perfect amount, doesn't it, of matte and layer?
Yes, it does, yeah. You can go for a more thinner by taking a fraction off.
Or a bit chunkier.
Or you could go chunkier, yeah. Either way, it's entirely up to you. It's what I think it's a personal preference. I think it's sometimes a personal preference, because there's no right or wrong way to a matte and layer. There isn't. There's no right or wrong way, Joe. Right, so I'm going to pad all these panels, and I've got one more to do, and then we're going to stick all these onto our accordion part of the card. And then we're ready to start doing all the decorated elements that we're going to add, and all the extra little features. We're going to use the embossing folder. We're going to use some of the dies that are in the collection, although I don't think we've got all of them available today, but if you've got yours at home, and then get them ready. But what we're going to do now is, we've got our accordion fold. So what we're going to do now is pop all of our matte and layers onto there. So I'm just going to choose which way do I quite like that one. Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go with that one. And each time you use your papers as well, because there's so many different papers in that collection that we had, it'll look different every single time. And I'll show you that when we do from my original one what we made, because I've chopped it up a little bit with the colour. I've made the colour look a bit different. But again, just mat and layer all your pieces in. But yeah, every card will look different. And depending on the colours that you use, I mean, if you've got your letters, you know, if you haven't got your vintage diary, but you've got your letters
from the heart.
From the heart, you could use those papers.
You could.
They work really well with this collection.
Helen's asking which ink pads would work for the distressing. She doesn't have the opaque ink pad, so could she use any of the others, Debbie?
Yes, absolutely. So she could use the quick dry, or you could use the water reactive ones.
Brilliant.
When I'm distressing, I tend to use the water reactive, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it with the quick dry one. The difference with the quick dry one, it does dry instantly when it goes on, so you don't get as much manoeuvrability as you do with the water reactive one. But you can still achieve the look quite simply, and sometimes that's what I do when I'm here, because I don't always have the colours to hand. So absolutely you can, Joe. Right, I'm going to put the teacup on the front because I quite like that one. So there we go. So that's all the front part done. And then we're going to just stick those plain pieces of paper onto the back part.
I'm guessing rather than using one sheet with this, if you had a lot of offcuts with this collection, it might be a nice way to use those offcuts up, because it doesn't necessarily have to be the same sheet running through the accordion, does it?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, absolutely. You can use odds and sods, I call them, in my bit box. You could be using little offset, off papers that you've got. Those papers that we just left to one side, could be using those. Yep. That's what I said. Right, don't throw your scraps away. They're not scraps. The crafty bits that you can use.
Pam was telling me, you can also pause and rewind on YouTube as well. Lynn Harvey says, occasionally I've dragged the slider back a little bit just to re-watch a little bit at times. It comes in really handy, especially sometimes when we have to vote for demo of the day and there's a lot of them. She slides a little slider back and just has a little recap.
Oh, like it. That's
I like
good.
that.
Yeah, I like that idea. That's clever, that, Lynn. I never thought you could do that. Right, there we go. So now what you'll have ended up with, Joe, is you will have ended up with all, and I'm glad I've used all-purpose glue because I've just seen that that's moved while I've had it. Let's get that, let me just slip that around. There we go. There we are. So you've now got the front part of your accordion, all the panels matted and layered, but we haven't forgot the back bit. Apart from that panel, but that's the bit that's going to be stuck to our base card. So you don't need to decorate that panel, and don't worry about the join because the join is not going to be seen, and especially when you open this up now, that join is barely visible, so it doesn't really make any difference, but it does mean that you can create it with 12 by 12 card. You can achieve this look though as well with other cardstocks, where you can just add panels too. But yeah, so that what now is going to join on to the base card, and that is your accordion fun fold card done.
Brilliant. So we're going to decorate the accordion before it goes on, Debbie, or after you've attached it?
Now then, when I was doing mine at home, I did my fold, I did my matting and layering, I stuck the base down. I'm not going to tell fibs. Okay. But when I came to decorate it, there were little bits, tricky bits. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should, So yeah, it's entirely up to you. And especially when it came to this little bit with wrapping the twine round, I thought afterwards that could look quite nice if it were tucked underneath. However, I think you got away with that, didn't you? Get away with that little look. So yeah, it's up to you. I personally, I would get all these bits stuck on and then we'll attach it at the end.
All right, brilliant. Should we take a little pause there then? Is that all right
with
you?
Yes, please, because I could do with a drink.
Okie doke. What, you a Baileys?
No, just a little old fizzy one.
Oh, fizzy one.
I'm just going to go there. Just
her favourite fizzy one. Helen's saying, I keep all my scraps from paper pads. You just never know what you could reuse them on. Can never bring myself to throw them away. I don't think you're alone there. Yolanda's saying, I can't wait to try this card. Absolutely love it. Terry sent us in a photo as well. Now talking of, we've gone from Baileys to Bailey because that is the name of this gorgeous, he looks like a Labrador to me.
Oh, what a beauty.
Enjoying Crafters TV, very chilled.
It goes on the big telly?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
it's fabulous being on the big TV, isn't it?
I love it. He looks so cosy there. I see he's not perplexed at all by the crafting, is he? He's,
no.
He's not paying any attention, is he, the little monkey? He's just lying there enjoying his little snooze.
Having a lovely, lovely day. Yeah, a lot of people saying about hollowing out panels and stuff. Absolutely, you can do all of that if you wish. Samantha says, beautiful so far. Now, what I'm going to do for you, the collection is available as a whole. Now, the best way always to get the best value is to go for the larger bundles that we bring in. They represent the best value, but there is nothing to stop you going for the individual items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the individual items that we have available for you on the show today. So this one here is your page edges. You can see it right there, $6.99 or $8.95. Then we've got for you the 12 by 12 vellums. Now these are absolutely gorgeous. Whole host of different designs in there for you. Really, really great quality. Maybe you're going for the large collection, you're going to add an extra of the vellums in. I know a lot of people did that when we launched this collection. This was as well the busiest Crafters TV launch we've ever had, this collection, you know, Debbie. It's been off the chart popular. We've also got for you the adorning sentiments, which are these ones just here. $7.99 or $9.95 if you want to grab a hold of those. We've got then the wax seal kit for you. There you are. Not a day today, is it? Which is this one just here. Absolutely beautiful. 2 different designs in there for you. Then you've got the antique frame. Now remember, this design also pulls through into the vellums and the paper pad. This one here is your cotton ribbon pack if you'd like to go for that one. $4.99 or $6.95. You've got the 10-pack of metal charms, so you get 2 of each of these. I love that this one's got that loose element. It's more like jewellery than craft charms. They are such great quality. You've then got the traditional jute twine. You've got the wooden frame and corners in there. Then what we've got is the 12 by 12 luxury pearl pad, really popular on its own, this one. Just look how shiny that is, it is amazing. You're getting that lovely lavender, that beautiful chocolate brown, and then you're also getting there that gorgeous cream as well. The next one I've got for you is the Parisian, oh I've lost it, Erin. Oh no. Oh no, I've only got the exquisite embellishments. Have I lost it? Oh, hang on, where's it? Well, where's it gone? It was here, wasn't it? I think I lost this the other day as well. Should we see what it looks like over here? Oh, I can't find it. I thought it was this one. No, this is exquisite embellishments apparently.
Which one are you looking for, Joe?
The Parisian.
Let me just grab mine up a minute.
Oh, it's that one there. I see which one it is. Right, we'll come back to that one. Let's go to the...
It's going so well.
Let's go to the pocket watch. We're going to have a steward's inquiry there, I think. You've got the pocket watch in here, which is awesome, so you can go for that one if you want. We've then got the Dear Diary embossing folder. You've then also got in here... I want to sing this one, but I'm not going to. It is your A Moment in Time 3D embossing folder. And you've got your rub-on transfers. Right, what's happened here is I've been sharing with you the exquisite embellishments, and what I should have been showing you was the Parisian stamps. So I'm going to sort that out right now. Let's see what's happening in the comments. Has Craig pinched the embellishments? No doubt, Jean, no doubt. Beth says, hi everyone, taking a break from work as I'm having computer issues. I just love this collection and have this saved so I can craft along later. Lorna Jane says, it looks fabulous, can't wait to try this in the other collections. Thank you. Also, Mary Pat says, yesterday, my hubby's day off, a package was delivered in the morning. I was excited to capture it unnoticed. Unknown to me, my hubby's announcement, 3 more larger boxes were delivered. What a treat. Right, I'm going to give you a chance to just get yourself caught up. I'm going to track that stamp set down for you as well. So whilst that happens, let's share with you all the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to Silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a Gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a Platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a Gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. Become a member of our club today.
I love this collection, says Janko. It's my favourite since I started watching over a year ago. Wow. Jan also says, can't wait to go back and do the craft along. Got started a little late this morning. That's a great thing about all of our shows here, isn't it, Crafts TV? You can always go and watch them back at any time, which is absolutely brilliant. So do go and do that if you need to after the show. Will there be a craft along with the Vintage Diary album Sarah showed on the launch party? She said there would be. Would love to say it. Well, do you know what? If Sarah said it was going to happen, then it's going to happen, would be my advice. Usually a couple of weeks after we launch, gives everyone a chance to, when they buy the products on the launch day, gives them a chance to get them all home, familiarise themselves with them, and then get them too. Right, I can't find the board for you for the Perfectly Parisian, so I'm going to show you the stamp itself is what I'm going to do, which is this one just here. No, it's not this one. Now this one's Dear Diary. Which is because that's an embossing folder, that's why. Right. So, Perfectly Parisian. Can you see it, Erin? Bottom row. It's not that one, because that one is, this is like a wild goose chase. That's adorning, that's adorning sentiments, that one. This one here is called Perfectly Parisian. But on the board, oh, I see what's happened here. Right, we've got it. Sarah's exquisite embellish. So, let me show you what's happened. This is it. So this is what it actually looks like. This is your Perfectly Parisian, which is clearly this, isn't it? But
yep.
What does that say? Doesn't say that, does it?
No, you need.
Right.
We need to change that one, Joe.
I've got me pen that Debbie got me, so I'm going to scribble that out and change it. So what I would say is you are getting exactly what I showed you. So that is what they will stamp out, and that is your Perfectly Parisian. So there we go. Should we check in with Jenny and April and hope that they're a little less confused than we are? Let's go across the pond to Ohio and say hello to the lovely Jenny and see how she's getting on. How's it going, Jenny?
It's great. I've got I even distressed on the inside too.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Jenny, I am loving that.
Oh, Jenny, that's gorgeous.
Looks great with the lavender, doesn't it?
Beautiful with that lavender.
Absolutely
I'm
gorgeous.
really pleased that Jenny's chosen that shade actually because it looks gorgeous.
Fabulous. Okay, Jenny, I will drop in with you again real soon. Should we see how April's getting on? April, how's it going there in Indiana?
Really good.
Fab. Oh, gorgeous.
Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, this looks gorgeous. Again, chosen beautiful papers there. Absolutely beautiful. Well, I think we're ready for the next bit then,
Lovely.
Joe.
Are you ready for the next bit, April?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, let's crack on then in that case.
Right, so, shall we crack on? I think what we'll do is we'll make the little pockets. If I just bring in my card again, just to show you now, we're going to do all the extra little bits. So this little bit, I've lost my little letter. Where's my letter gone, Joe? Well, I knew there were a letter there somewhere. My little love letter that fits inside my little vellum pocket.
Nice.
So we're going to do the vellum pocket, and I think we're also going to concentrate as well. Beautiful embossing. That little hidden panel there with our little sentiment on. Again, just a really nice little feature, but it gets to use that beautiful embossing folder as well. So first things first, we're going to take our vellum. So I want you to choose a vellum piece from your vellum pack, and we're going to chop this down to 5.5 inches by 3 inches. Now, if you want to get the longevity again out of your vellum, what we're going to do is we are going to choose it to the 3 inches. And we're going to take this at our 5.5 inches as well. So we'll do that one. And then what we're just going to do is we're going to grab your embossing folder, not embossing folder, sorry, your board. It's our board again, bring it in as board. And we're just going to do a little 1/2 inch, to create the pocket bit, I only need 2 pieces at the side and 1 across the bottom, not at the very top. So what I'm going to do is I am going to score this now at 1/2 inch. So, and when you score in vellum, I want you to bear in mind, vellum is a little bit more delicate than cardstock. So when you're scoring, it's gentle score lines to be, to doing your scoring. And again, I'm just going to repeat that at 1/2 inch all the way around. And I say all the way around, those 3 elements, Joe, not the 4th element. So the 2 sides and the 1 long bottom. There we go. So that is just now. So leave this part flat. We're not doing anything with that one.
The big score's out of stock at the moment. You can use the Score Master, which is in stock. So they'll both work for this.
Absolutely, they will. And then we're going to tuck this in. So we're going to tuck this back on itself and give it a nice gentle burnish. And I say gentle burnish, again, remembering that vellum is quite a delicate, and I say delicate, it's quite hard, it is quite substantial, but it's delicate when you've folded it and when you've given these crease lines, you've got to be careful with it because it can tear. So you don't want that to happen. So again, all I'm doing is folding those elements over, and I'm just using that score line and then just a nice little gentle burnish. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take off the bottom corner and then we're going to tuck that around there so that it fits on. Now, if you want, you can actually leave all 4 pieces on. If you don't want to take any off, if you want to give it a nice strongish hold, which is, I think I'm going to do that with this one, Joe. So I'm going to grab my tape pen, and all I'm going to do is literally stick the ends. And I am putting my glue on all of that for the time being. I'm taking care not to stick it to the bottom because I want a little bit of a gap in between there, so for me pocket. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take it up to that part. I'm going to fold those pieces over and then just run my glue at the bottom. I'm going to grab my accordion part and we're going to pop that and attach that on the inside. So you can either pop it to the bottom if you want to pop it to the bottom. I'm just going to lift it up slightly. But you'll see that that fits just beautifully into there. But what it's given me a pocket to be able to pop in now, because I've not sealed it all the way down, but it gives me a pocket. And the reason I didn't stick it at the very bottom is because I've now got a nice full pocket to be able to shove that right down. Okay? So that's that little bit done. But we can add elements onto this. So you can add things like your rub-ons. So you could grab one of your rub-ons. And I did say we're going to use quite a bit of these extra pieces on here. And again, if you notice, the colour tones really do work beautifully. Rub-ons are very easy to use. I do love a rub-on transfer. I think they're so easy.
Are they a bit of a blast from the past, rub-ons?
They are a little bit, yes. They are a little bit of blast from the past. In the olden days, I'm not talking that old ago, but where you can do a little bit of extra little titivation.
Titivation, love that.
Yes, one of my words that I like to use. It just adds a nice little element to it, but they're very, very easy to use. I've just trimmed off one of the elements, and if you look at all these, you've got all these lovely sentiments, extra swirls, and there's 4 sheets in your packs as well. But all you're going to do is peel that off the backing. So I've just take that off. You might need your poker tool for this bit, just to lift it off. Let's see if I can grab my edge. There we go. Peel the backing off. I had it a minute ago then, Joe, did you notice? Take that backing off. Take care not to put your fingers on the inside because it's glue. And it's a sticky glue that adheres your piece to this. Rub that on there. Take your lollipop stick that comes with it. Where's it gone? Oh, I'll put it down somewhere, Joe. Let me just, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my bone folder for this. But you would use your lollipop stick and you're just going to rub over. And that's all this is. It's a rub-on transfer. Very, very easy to do. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on, but just make sure you take your tool, your whether it be your bone folder or your lollipop stick, and just pop that round the edge there, all across. Lift it up And the lovely thing about it is if you've missed a bit, you can pop it back down and go over it.
Okay.
But take that off and you've got that beautiful transfer.
Nice.
Where it just adds that extra little element onto there. And I am going to use an extra little piece on there, Joe. I'm going to use one of those gorgeous pieces because we've got lots of lovely extra embellishments in this kit. And Debbie can't find it. There it is. We've got that from the wooden frame and corner. So you've got 8 in total. You've got the 4 frames and then you've got the 4 larger frames as well. So I'm just going to pop this on, but I'm going to give it a little bit of an age feel to it by taking my, and you could use your, do you know what you could do?
What?
You could do your pigment ink pad. Then some clear embossing over it and get a lovely enamelled finish. Oh,
Shut
you
the
could.
front door, really?
Absolutely you could. But all I've done there is just added a little element by taking a bit of ink over.
Nice.
And again, it just distresses it, gives it a little distress feature. So we're going to stick that onto the back of there as well. But for the time being, we'll just leave that off for just for this second. That's all we're just going to do, is just leave it off for a second, because we're going to move on to that embossing piece as well. So take a piece of cardstock. Chosen cardstock again. You could do this with your brown one with that gorgeous golden fleck coming through.
Just before you move on to this section, just
Yes.
for Gail,
Yep.
could you just recap the size of the piece of vellum you used and where you put the scores?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
So I took a piece of vellum at 5.5 inches by 3 inches and I scored at half an inch down one side, half an inch down the other, and half an inch on the long side, leaving the top part clear for that pocket feature. I'll just bring that in for a second. And then just fold them over with your bone folder and then attach it in there so you've got this lovely little pocket feature. I mean, if you were giving this as a little gift, you could put a little gift card in there or something like that if you wanted to do that.
Awesome.
Which is a nice little add-on there. But it just gives you that little pocket that just where you can slip your extra embellishments in.
Brilliant.
Joel.
Thank
Extra
you for that, Debbie.
embellishments in. No problem. Right, so I'm going to use this gorgeous embossing folder and I'm going to use, oh, I love this one, the 3D element to this one, which is the A Moment in Time. It's got that lovely ink bottle with your feather quill in there. It's just really beautiful. Lots of lovely script going off in the background and even some like harlequin beside. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But I only want to do a little piece of this, so if I just bring back in the original card.
Was it a Whitney Houston song, One Moment in Time?
It
when
was
I'm making
indeed.
up?
I nearly burst into song singing that.
Me too.
I absolutely did. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure this piece to 4 inches by 5.5 inches. So bring back in your guillotine with your chosen cardstock, and we're going to measure that at 4 inches by 5 and 5.25. Sorry, 5.25, not 5.5. So we're going to just take that piece. That is going to be going on the inside.
So it was what, 4 by 5.25?
4 by 5.25.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do now, Joe, I'm going to just move that out of the way a second again. Let's just pop that down there. And I just want to choose this little fraction of this embossing folder because it's really, really good. I absolutely love this one. So I'm just going to place it into there and pop that down. And I'm just checking to see if I've got my feather quill in there and my ink bottle. And I can just position that into place and I can see that that looks absolutely lovely. I'm really happy with that. So when we are going to do this bit, Joe, we are going to take our cutting plate. It's 3D, so please bear in mind 3D embossing to this one. So we're going to do the 3D embossing combination. So it's clear, folder, magnetic, plastic over the top and run that through. Right. I can't believe, Joe, where the time goes.
Where does it go? Who stole the last 1 hour and 28 minutes?
Exactly. Where did it all go? And there's me thinking we're going to get all sorts done. And I said to producer Erin at the start of the show, I've got plenty of demos lined up for afterwards as well. We'll be fine.
We do this, not you. You're not the only person that does this, though, Debbie. Every single expert does exactly the same thing. But what
I'm
is
glad
really
it's not
lovely,
just
isn't
me.
it, is to get all of the instructions in such fine, clear detail. So it means that everyone can do it together, which is the aim, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's what I love about the craft along. Now I'm taking Friar Brown again because I want to give it an aged feel to this one, and I'm just giving it a little. I mean, it just literally picks up all those lovely embossing details. What else would look nice is that you could use some of your gilding wax if you want to use some of your gilding wax over the top to add elements of there. It really is an absolutely beautiful embossing folder. Lots of ways you can use it. Letterpress technique, you'll have seen some of the team do before. But I'm quite happy with that. You can see all that gorgeous embossed detail. But to have that open where it has the reveal, and I scored it on the right-hand side, which is normally unusual to do because you would normally open the flap up on the left-hand side. However, it's going to take away from this lovely design, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in. I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to score it at 1 inch in. So just take that to 1 inch and just take your time as well when you're doing it again. Don't go too mad, but what I want to do is fold that back on itself, and then that creates that lovely little opening. And then what we're going to do is just create a little panel here and use one of those rub-ons again, Joe. So with that said, I am going to, let me just have a quick peek, measurement wise, I think on this one we'll take, and I'm going to use the same colour cardstock for this, but I am going to use this piece now at, and I'll give you the measurements for this to fit nicely in there, so I'll just cover that up for a second. I'm going to measure this at 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches by 2 3/4. And when you open that up, you can see, oh, I might have gone a little, oh, I've gone a bit too, hang on a minute, Joe, you'll have to excuse me just a second. Can we rewind that bit and just scrub that bit off?
We'll cut that bit out in the edit
Cut
later.
that bit out a minute, just while because I've just read, do you know, I said to you, I read everything, and I've just read the wrong bit of my my details there. How bad is that of me? It's 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/4.
2 3/4 by 4 1/4.
By 4 1/4. So I might just get away with this piece. Silly old me. 4 1/4. I was just doing so well, Joe. I was just doing so well. But now look, when you pop that on, it fits absolutely beautiful on there. So all you're going to do is choose one of your rub-on words, and again, look at all the rub-ons that we have in this kit. You've got all these gorgeous different sentiments on there, different colour tones that you can use, where you can add these little details, and it does make a bit of a difference when you're using these. So I'm going to use, I'm going to use that fancy little swirl. So I'm going to grab my scissors. Just chop out the elements that you want to use. Really easy to use these, Joe. Let's have a look. Have a beautiful day. Oh no, heartfelt wishes. I'm going with, changing my mind again. Heartfelt wishes. That's the beauty about these. You can do, although what I have found is my lollipop stick while I was down there. What we're going to do is just again, you're going to peel this off and you're going to place this on wherever it is that you want to do. Now I'm going to have the heartfelt wishes just place in the middle. And I'm going to do this bit first, where you just take the flat end of your tool,
Popsicle
lollipop
stick, I believe it's called
Is
in
it
the
called
US,
a
isn't it, Erin?
popsicle stick? Is that what you call it
Popsicle.
in America, Erin?
It's a popsicle.
Is that what you call an
It's a
ice lolly
popsicle,
then? Do you
yeah.
call an ice lolly a popsicle? I've learnt something new. I
See,
didn't know
because an
that.
ice pop or an ice pole in the UK is like, you know, like the frozen slushy thing in the tube that you suck on.
Yep.
You know, like it's
I know
like,
what you mean. Yep.
It's
yep.
like a long, thin piece of ice, and it's in plastic, and then you like crunch on it and sort of suck on it a bit. What's that one called here?
Is that a brand?
We call it a pop ice. I think pop ice might be the brand of one. Or what would you call it? What would you call it, Debbie? An ice pole. That's what it's called.
An ice pole?
Yeah.
Ice what?
Ice pole.
An ice lolly is an ice pole. Where's that?
No,
what
no.
language is that? Have I got right? Have I
Debbie,
misheard
let me start that again for you.
All
so,
right, okay.
ice lollies are lollies on sticks, popsicles on sticks.
Yes.
But the other things that are in the little thin long pieces of ice that are in a piece of plastic, you know, you bite the top and they're about this long, they're in
A
the
jubbly.
freezer.
An ice pop.
jubbly.
An ice pop.
Yeah, an ice pop.
I didn't know that's what they were
Have you
called.
called them jubblies?
Yeah, we call them jubblies. Little jubbly. Or an ice pop.
I knew jubblies as something completely different. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you, isn't it funny all these different areas that we come from and we have different meanings for different words? Oh, I tell you, I love it. I do love that. I like the idea of that we've got different words for different things. That just
Me
makes
too.
it quite
Let's
comical.
not get started on small pieces of bread because we'll be here all day.
No, gosh, no, we're not going to do that.
No.
Now, all I've done with that, Joe, on that piece of measurement again, which was 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, I've placed my rub-ons, I've done my rub-ons, and I've just given it a little distressed edge around that corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the back of here. And you can see it just picks this off. However, I want to distress a little bit of the back of this too. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm going to distress a little bit of the deboss side as well, just to give it a little bit of that, again, that lovely vintage tone. I'm not going to worry about this bit because this is the bit that's getting stuck down. So I'm just, with that said, I'm going to bring in my red liner tape. So let's pop this red liner tape on there. And I'm just going to take that from top to bottom. Little scissors. You could be using your tape pen again, or your wet glue, whatever it is your chosen glue of choice.
So in the States, Tonya says they're called push-ups or freezer pops.
Push-ups or freezer pops? Freezer pops, yeah. Freezer pops.
Pop.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what my son calls them. Dear me, can't remember now.
What were the little ones that you used to get that were like, do you remember a Calippo, which was like in a tube, but it got thin, didn't it?
A Calippo we call it.
And the problem with the Calippo is you'd hold it in your hand, you'd give it to squeeze, try and get it out, and poof, it'd go straight over your shoulder. Do you remember? Always. And if it hit you in the face, it was dangerous.
A whaty?
If it hit you in the face, the Calippo, and you squeezed it, have your teeth out.
Oh, Joe, you do make me laugh. You do make me laugh. Now, what I'm just going to do is I'm just attaching this onto the back, and it creates that lovely little sentiment in there. I've put my red liner tape. I'm going to bring back in my fog coat. Now, if you're doing it that way, obviously you can still do it the same way, where you pop it in. But I've got mine my 10-fold way. So to make sure that I've got it nice and central before I actually stick that down, I'm just going to look at that. See if that's nice and central. Hold that in, and that's your little that's your little feature just coming out there.
Brilliant.
So I think we're ready now to do a bit of die cutting.
Okay.
So can I just give a little minute just to give this a little wipe, Joe? Is that okay?
Absolutely. My favourite name of an ice cream, Sarah Brown is talking about Calippos. She has them in Australia. My favourite Australian ice cream, this will make you chuckle, and they've branched out into other things. It's called a Golden Gay Time. It's been around for like 70 years in Australia. I think they're brilliant. It's basically like an ice cream on a stick. So not like ice, but it's like kind of toffee flavoured inside. And then it's got like little bits on it. And they did like variations. So they did a salty Gay Time, which was a salted caramel one. That was last summer. And some friends of mine just sent me some popcorn, some Golden Gay Time popcorn over as well, which I received in the post this week, which my friend Stephen sent to me. Jubblies are triangular shaped ice lollies, apparently, according to Lynn Harvey. There you go. Anyway, I'm glad that you are enjoying this education. Let me share with you some of the other gorgeous bits that we've got on the show for you today. We have got these. I can't believe we've got these in stock, actually, because they sell out time and time again. It's the Hunky Dory Prism Gilding Flakes. Now, these they remind me of like gold leaf, but for your crafting is what they are. Absolutely gorgeous. Pop them on with some adhesive and they work brilliantly. You've got gold, copper, and you get the silver in here. Little top tip, when you get these home, shall I open one up? They're kind of super flaky and light, right? What you need to do is when you get them home, decant them into a much larger plastic container, and they basically like expand to 4 or 5 times the size, and they'll go even further. So grab those. £10 to get all 3 of those is brilliant. £8 as a Club Inspired Platinum member. We've got some gilding wax for you as well. We've got 2 different ones here. So this one is your antique gold. It's like a real vintagey looking gold. 25% off of these, and Renaissance as well. Now, Renaissance reminds me of like Rome. You know the sculptures in Rome and Florence? That's what it reminds me of. Absolutely gorgeous. Really super classy. We also then have as well the ink pad collection. Now, remember what you're getting in here. So you're going to get Straw Bale, Seal Brown. This one here is your Friar Brown. You've got Smoke Plume and Spark Blue. Now, how much of this is gone? Did I hear 40% is gone? It has indeed. If 40% is gone, make sure you grab a hold of those. Should we check in with Jenny and April and see how they're getting on? I think we should. Let's see how the lovely Jenny in Ohio is getting on. Here she is. How's it going, Jenny? Oh, she can't hear me. There she is. How's it going, Jenny?
Sorry. I had to reach over and get my MIDI so I couldn't.
How's it all coming along okay?
Yeah, I did a few things a little different. I decorated my pocket just a little bit different.
Like that, Jenny.
And then on the inside of my card, I did my embossed piece, and
Nice.
then I put a
Oh, love
Beautiful.
that, Jenny. Love that.
Really gorgeous. Lovely that you put your own spin on it
beautiful.
as well. It's lovely when people do that, isn't it, Debbie?
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, I love the whole idea that you can chop and change items up to how you want them. I love that.
Gorgeous, Jenny. I'll drop back in on you real soon. Let's see how April's getting on. How is it going there, April?
It's all right. I had the wrong size for the pocket, so I'll
okay.
have to redo that. But I've got the
Beautiful.
embossed piece and working on the sentiment right now.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, I'm not going to distract you too much. I'll let you crack on with those bits, and I'll speak to you again real soon.
Awesome.
Right. Laquietta saying how gorgeous those gilding flakes are. Michelle saying I received my Cosmic Shimmer paste earlier this week. They're even prettier in person. My mind started whirling with ideas. Can't wait to play. And Lorna Jane saying I call the long flavoured ice in plastic an ice pole, and a jubbly is flavoured ice in a plastic cup. There you go. I'm glad that we got this sorted out, because I know I, for one, wouldn't have been able to sleep tonight if we hadn't have nailed this on. So I'm glad we've done that. We don't want to be losing any sleep over jubblies and ice poles. Patty says, Joe, nice haircut. Thanks, Patty. Do you know, it'd been 3 months, Debbie, since I had my haircut. Honestly. And it was so cold on Monday when I went to get it done. I left the hairdressers. Oh, it's freezing. I didn't have
you.
all that hair to keep me warm.
I bet you're feeling benefit today, though. I
Oh,
can't
I
wait
am.
to get mine done.
Lovely
The only
thing.
problem with women's hairdressers is that you can't get in as quick as a barber. Let me just tell you, so I'm
Right.
going to wait for mine.
Right.
However,
Are you ready to go, Debbie?
I am ready
Brilliant.
to go, because I have just seen, I've clocked the clock. Oh my days, where does the time go? It just flies by.
20
So,
minutes, Debbie.
I can't believe it, Joe. It's honestly, I'm thinking, oh, we've got loads of time. So we're going to use the key to the heart, if you've got the key to the heart. We're going to use the feathered quill, if you've got the feathered quill die. We're going to use the little tags as well, so if you've got those beautiful tags, and I'm trying to remember the name of those, that is the tags and banners. And I've just chosen some of that gorgeous, I pinched some of that Centura Pearl, Joe, while you weren't looking. It's beautiful.
Have you been in my stash?
I've been in your stash, sorry.
How dare
Yeah,
you.
absolutely love it.
Now,
So-
I do know that some of these elements are no longer available, are they,
Exactly,
Debbie? So if
yeah.
anyone was going for the collection today, obviously some of these elements aren't included, but you really could play around with any of the other elements, I'm thinking. Is it personal preference how you decorate
I mean, this is
bit?
just the embellishment side to it. If you've got, or if you haven't got, and you're going for the collection today, you're going to be able to play with these parts very easily. You can just chop and change around those elements to make it work for you. And if you did get the whole collection, then fabulous. You've got that collection to be able to do this with. So absolutely fab. I'm just going to use my low tack tape. I'm going to try and cut all these elements out in one fail swoop. So we're going to pop that on. Thin metal die combination. So we're going to just pop all our plates together, run that through your Gemini, and then we'll do the tone paper. Well, I said the tone paper. Beautiful note paper that you have in there as well, and we'll get that done so we can slip that into the wallet. But again, that little wallet that you could be using, you could be putting gift cards in there, lots of different ways that you could be using them. So these are all our pieces now. So if I just take my low tack tape off, we're going to decorate these pieces up, and these we're going to keep as a whole. We're not going to do anything to them because they look absolutely glorious on their own. You could use any of your do you know your papers that you have, like your mirror cardstock and all that kind of thing, Joe? You could die cut them
Oh, yeah.
with that.
Oh, brilliant.
Anything you want to do. So I'm just going to release that. I love the key to my heart. I think it's beautiful. Love this one as well, Joe. Again,
Very
the
significant,
detail.
isn't it? A lot of people believe feathers are quite significant for a lot of people, you know, if that's, if you're the spiritual type, let's say.
Yes, yes, I know exactly what you mean. My auntie loved things like that. She was very spiritual as well. So I'm just move those out of the way for the time being, Joe. Let's just get rid of all my rubbish. There we are. So these are the extra embellishments they're going to use. So if you've die cut those elements, pop them to one side. We're going to come to those in a moment. I'm going to go back with, use some of the stamps. Let's get some of the stamps used because I love these.
Just to say, Debbie, as well, if anyone doesn't get the craft along finished by the time the show ends, then we'd love people to send us photos, wouldn't we, later in our Creative Cravings show.
Yeah.
So by all means, if you send them to us between shows, we'll show them in the Creative Cravings show, which is awesome, because I don't think people are going to get done enough time to get the photos sent over and us get a chance to show them. So yeah, bear that in mind. Either save them, send them to us during Creative Cravings, send them before, and we will show them then.
Now I'm just going to ink this up slightly. I'm going to use this feather, but only part of it, to add a little bit of a decoration going off there, because I think it's just a gorgeous one. Using the Pigment ink pad, of course, you can add things like your clear embossing powder onto there. But I'm just using elements of this. I'll come to using some more in a moment, so I'm just going to keep that on there for the time being, because I'm just going to move that to one side and use the rub on. But I need to dry that off, because it's not the quick dry that I've used there, but you could use your quick dry. Debbie is trying to furiously locate her heat gun, and I did plug it in. So what have you done with it, Debbie?
You definitely had it.
I know I did, and I've plugged it in, Joe, but I've put, do you know, you put something down and you can't see it. Follow the cord, yes. Oh. Well, Erin, producer Erin, I should have indeed done that. Follow the cord. I'm just going to dry that off slightly, but like I said, you could add your clear embossing powder to this to create a lovely enamelled look, but I just want to dry that off before I actually add my rub-on part to it, because otherwise it'll smudge. If you use your quick dry is instant, no smudges going off, and be absolutely fine to do so. So I'm just going to pop on, what can we have on this one? Let's have a think. I like that one. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. So again, these are just the fun little features. These are just those extra embellishments that you can use and decorate up. You could actually use one of your stamps as well, but I'm going to go in with that one. And then I'm going to add a little bit of twine to it as well. But before we do that, we're going to get that note paper done. So I'm just going to place that onto there. Popsicle stick again, or lollipop stick.
Grande maison. Doesn't that mean big house in French?
I think it does, doesn't it, in French? Yeah. So, but again, just a little decorated part. It's just a little decorated part. And again, just lift that off. If you haven't quite done it, you can go back in and add that on, but that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. We're going to bring in note paper. Choose cardstock for this again. So I'm going to choose a bit of the waste one that I've got. And we're going to cut this down to 5 inches. So we're going to go 5 inch. And what did I put do you have to do it again, Joe? I've covered all my measurements up. What am I like? I do it all the time. Let me just pop my little there to by 3 inches. So 5 inches. So make sure that I've got my 5 by 3 inches.
5 by 3.
5 by 3.
I don't know why I feel the need to repeat it every time you say what the measurement is.
Well, do you know what?
I think I've got measurement Tourette's. I'm like your little measurement parrot over here. I don't know why I felt the need to do this string parrot.
No, it's helpful, Joe. It's absolutely helpful. Now, I'm going to use just a couple of those pieces there. So you can see you could use this on a bigger, or if you wanted to do it, you could use it this way as well. For it to fit in the pocket, though, I'm going to go on the portrait way. I'm just going to bring my mats in, and I'm just going to add this on. And I'm just going to hold those 2 bits down again with a bit of low-tack tape. So I'm going to reuse my low-tack tape. And then this will create that lovely little paper feature. But again, do you know what I'm talking about? Crisscrossing this with other collections. That Letters from Your Heart will look absolutely beautiful. That would look gorgeous because there's torn paper in there. Wouldn't that look gorgeous? You could use elements of that in here. And I'm going to just use some of the stamps to decorate it. Create a little bit of an extra background onto there, and I'll show you in a moment. And again, dependent on the ink pad that you want to use, we're going to use a quick dry, but I ain't got any quick dry down here, so it don't matter. Don't matter, because they all work in harmony with each other. So just lift that off, and now what we've created, I'll just put that to one side, is all this lovely little note paper. And again, I'm just going to distress it a little bit round the edges, going back to my Fire Brown. Just give it a little distress around the edge. And then we're going to do a little bit of decorating the background. And then we're going to use one of the sentiments on there as well.
Brilliant.
Right, so this is just a quick little distress. There we go. And then bringing back in my stamping platform, I'm just going to move these bits. We're going to use, where's that lovely feather gone again? Let's use the feather. I'm just trying to see if I can find a quick dry ink pad that will work, Joe. Just bear with me a second. In fact, I'm going to use rustic brown because I think that'll look quite nice. And then we're just going to go in the back. And oh, look at that, doesn't that look lovely?
Boom.
It does really bring it to life, doesn't it, Joe? It absolutely does. And I'll use another piece down there because I love this. This is just beautiful. Just add in, this is the fun factor to this. You can just add extra little pieces. And if I just show you, depending on the colour that you go for, I've chosen colours that all work with that one. But you can literally go as, you know, use any ink pad that you want to for this. I'm going to use that one. Let's bring that in. Let's take that off. Pop that back on there. Normally I'd clean these, but because of time constraints, we're not going to. So we're going to just pop this on. And I'm going to just pop that going across. Let's have a look. We'll do it this way, go that way. Just using little elements, and you can see just by adding that little, it just adds a little bit of detail. And then I'm going to use a sentiment for this now. So I'm going to move on to those other sentiments that we've got in the collection. And we've got friends like you are one of life's great treasures. How gorgeous is that? It really is. So again, I'm just going to choose the same ink pad just because, like I said, we're time-wise. Pop that down, and again, you've got that there to use. And I just think that just really just adds a nice little bit of detail to it. Now, we've got all these bits, Joe. So what we're going to do now is put these panels in. So just bringing back in the elements that you've used. We're going to slip our little note paper into there. We're going to take... probably hot glue would be good for this bit, Joe. Just take that off.
Could you use your chunky glue if you didn't have hot glue?
Chunky glue will work, you'll just need to let it dry.
Okay.
But I'm just going to pop a bit of hot glue onto there and hold it into place. Take care when you're using your hot glue gun because it is hot. So we're just adding the extra bits now on here. And again, I'm going to bring in my quill. So I'll put a quill on this panel. Let's put this on. And then I'm going to put my ink bottle in there as well. So I'll pop a bit on the back and pop that down. Then I'm going to do my key to the heart. So we'll pop that on this part. So let's just pop that on this side.
If you were doing this at home in your own time then, Debbie, would you be using the hot glue or would you be using something else?
Foam pads.
Okay.
What else? Foam pads. Well, of course, I'm going to say it. Chunky glue. Chunky glue. Because I do use that a lot.
That's Collal 3D glue gel for anyone that doesn't speak Debbie.
Absolutely, absolutely, Joe. That's what that is. Obviously, with hot glue, it's instant. It's instantly dry. You know, once it's dry, it's solid. It ain't moving anywhere. It's absolutely fabulous. Now, going back to some other elements that we've got twine. So let's take some of this lovely twine. I'm going to thread a bit of the twine through my tag. So I'll thread a little bit through there, tie that off and then snip a little bit off. So you're going to just do this again, it's just extra little embellishments. But it just makes a nice little touch to your project. So we're going to just pop a little bit of hot glue onto the back again. And I'm just going to add that little element just onto there. This, like I said, it's just extra little bit of details. But for the twine, I'm going to add a little bit of twine onto here. And I'm going to I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. I'm going to pop, just for speed, I'm going to pop a little bit of tape just onto there. So again, I'm just going to place this on. And we're going to wrap this around. And I'm going to do this a couple of times. And I'm just going to crisscross that across the back. And then just bring that back down. And it's just a nice little feature again. And again, you could use a little bit to cover this up. That could have been underneath that panel. However, it doesn't look too bad, Joe. I think it looks okay. If you want it to stick, you know, use a different, you know, use something a bit stronger glue, but this will do for now. And then just crisscross that over. So I'm just going to spread that out a little bit. So I've got that lovely element there. Grab some of your ribbon, because you've got ribbon in this, some gorgeous ribbon, butterfly ribbons and things like that that you've got in here. So I'm just going to lift my tape off because I taped mine back down. I kept it, keeps it nice and neat using that tape. Oh, no, I don't want that one. Oh, actually, no, I'll have my butterfly one. How are we doing for time, Joe?
You have got 3 minutes left, Debbie.
My goodness, my goodness. I just don't know where that time goes.
When we said 3 minutes left, we just heard April and Jenny go, "Oh no!" in the
Exactly,
comments.
it's exactly what I thought. You could use any of your, your bow off your, do you know your bow maker off your
Ultimate.
Ultimates? You could be using that, but again, speed and trying to get this tied, and Debbie's not the best.
See, everyone else that's doing this along with us, though, you have as long as you need. You're
Of
going to be able
course,
to continue
and
working
you're
on
going
this
to be
after
able
the
to
show.
finish
You can really,
this.
and it's all subjective, this bit, isn't it? It's all down to personal preference and taste, how you want to put this bit together, this sort of embellishing bit, really.
And it is, Joe. That is exactly right. You've got a bit of time. You've got a bit more leisurely pace than but you've got the main concept of that card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just.
They haven't got someone there going 2 minutes, 9 seconds now.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm glad I'm not the only one who panicked when they heard that. What? Oh, dear me. You think you've got enough time to complete these things, and then when it comes to it, actually you haven't at all. But I'm just going to bring my hot glue gun in again. I'm just going to stick this down. There was an extra little bit that I was going to do, which was the seal kit, but I'll show you the finished one because it doesn't really matter. But what I am going to use, I'm going to bring in one of those lovely charms, and again I'm just going to place that over the top. I'm going to do that last though, Joe. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the card blank in, and what we're going to do now is attach some glue onto the back. Choice of glues here again, I'm going to use a bit of red liner tape. So I'm going to just pop some down, and I'm just going to then place that on, and we'll have finished the project. Phew, with like about probably a minute to spare. But what I want to see when we
won't have that long to spare.
when we've got creative cravings, I want to see your finished, where you haven't had to rush in this 2 hours to put it together. But all you're going to do now is place that onto the front of your card. If you were doing the side opening, it would be exactly the same. But because I'm doing the tent, I'm going to place that just over the centre part. Give that nice little embellishment down there. And like I said, I'm just going to finish this off now with my little embellishment. And you're just going to pop that, again, using hot glue. Let that set. Be careful not to put your finger underneath that because there's little holes in that charm. The last thing you want to do is cause yourself
a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor or a burn with the hot glue. But now what you've got and what you should have is your accordion card that folds out with all your little extra elements on there. So I'll just hold that. Let me just bring that in so you can see there. Which camera am I in, George? Because I always get, thank you. So there you go, that's your extra little element. You've got all that lovely decorated paper on the back. When you lift that up, you've then got that lovely feature. And I did love what Jenny did with hers. I thought that was really lovely what she did with hers. But you've got that little extra element there. And apart from Joe, the seal, that's the only bit we didn't get done. You can add that afterwards. Use your seal kit just to give that a nice little finish. And again, make yourself an envelope box. This is a 6x6 card. If you are using your envelope box measurements, use the inch measurement and use the 6.5 by 6.5 measurements to create the beautiful envelope box. But I think we've just run out of time to be able to create that. But what you've got is all the main elements. So I hope you've enjoyed this craft along.
I've loved it.
And I hope you've enjoyed this different type of card again. That lovely accordion card. And it's a little fun, fancy fold card, which is what I do love. I love something a little bit different. And again, really easy to do and really achievable. And not just with this collection. Think about all your other collections that you could use this in as well.
Absolutely. And if you need somewhere to store all of your gorgeous dies, we do have available for you the A5 storage folder. So it's a small storage folder with 6 of the magnetic sheets included as well. And the magnetic sheets are the perfect way to store all of those dies so they don't become damaged in any way, which is awesome. Right, I'm not sure if the ladies joining us, our Skype crafters are all done, but let's check in and see how they're getting on. Let's first go direct to Ohio and see how Jenny's getting on. How are you doing, Jenny?
I got it done.
Oh, yay! Let's see it then, Jenny.
Oh, look at the seal. Jenny's gone ahead and got that seal done. Beautiful.
Jenny, that is gorgeous. Did you enjoy putting it together?
I did. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was so fun.
Oh, awesome. It was so lovely to have you come and join us on this show. It'd be lovely to have you come back again and join us at some point in the future if you'd
I
like.
would love to.
Brilliant. We're sending all of our love from here in Newton Aycliffe over the sea to you in Ohio, Jenny. Thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Right,
Bye.
let's go and check in with April as well. Hey, April, how are you getting on?
I'm doing all right. I've got a lot of my pieces done. I just need to do the pocket and put it together.
Amazing. How have you enjoyed being part of our craft along today?
Oh, it was fun. Actually, my mom and I are crafting together. So
Yeah.
she's on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Hello, April's mum.
Amazing. Hello, April's mum. What's your mum's name?
Gail.
Gail. So it's like we got 2 for 1 today, April.
Exactly.
I tell you what, April, would you do me a huge favour? When you get your project finished, would you send us in a picture so we can share it with everyone in Creative Cravings?
Yes, we'll
Brilliant.
send them in.
Have you enjoyed, also what I would say is we'd love it if you come back and join us again at some point in the future. It'd be lovely to have you back on.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, April. It was an absolute pleasure to have you part of the show. Enjoy the rest of your day and send our love to your mum as well.
I sure will.
Thank you so much. Don't forget as well, the whole collection is available for you, or what we have left of the collection, let's say, but it still is a really lovely, comprehensive collection of goodies. You've got the vellum in there, you've got the luxury cardstock, you've got embossing folders, charms, twine, loads of glorious goodies in there for you. Also remember that you can watch this show back at any point as well. It lives forever, either where you're watching it right now, so Facebook or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe, or you can watch it back at any point over on our website as well. Now, this is your 2-hour drill, right? We're going to be back with Creating Cravings, myself and Debbie's. We have got some awesome discovery kits on the show for you, and that Scoremaster's going to be on the show, which will be absolutely awesome. And then if you can't join us at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m, we'll be back, of course. I'll be back in with Craig tomorrow for Wake Up Call. Midday here in the UK. It is midday, isn't it? Just checking, yeah. Which is 7 a.m. Eastern time, or 4 a.m. if you're across on the West Coast. Debbie, can I say a massive thank you for being our expert teacher for today?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. I hope you've enjoyed it, because I certainly have. I adore craft-alongs. Tick me in for some more bosses if you're listening, because I do enjoy these sessions. I absolutely love them.
They're fabulous. Debbie, thank you so much. A pleasure as always. A huge thanks to all of you guys as well. We'll see you back here in 2 hours. Take care.